Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Bram Lagrou. I'm the founder of Lagrou Partners, and I'm addressing you now if you are a partner in a professional services firm, if you are a consultant, a BDM, a business owner or a sales professional. Right? Welcome back to the program. This is video 2, which is the video in which I will be taking you through the business development process and the exact knowledge and skills that will be helpful in that process for you to get exceptional results. So let me take you through it very quickly. It will be very good, so stay tuned. Is for us to become hyper aware of what other services and products do they offer, how do they market them, how do the people go about the business development process, which type pricing do they use. Very important for us to know exactly who else is out there, because we know that we will be compared to those other people out there, so it makes sense, right? The second thing is then, once you've done that analysis, we want to completely go with a different approach. We want to know what's out there and then strategically position ourselves in a different way so that we can easily talk about everybody else does it this way, but we found ways to do it different. That's really the way that we're going to translate and talk to our prospects and clients. Talk about everybody else out there and we doing it differently. So it's important to know what our point of difference is. What is it? You know, how do the others do it? And then secondly, why should people buy from you? But why should they engage your services? Why should they engage your expertise and the expertise of your firm? Very often I notice how people go to networking functions because they understand the value of marketing. At the same time, there is not really a system in place. It's just as if everybody is just out there handing out business cards. Typically they will start giving the card and ask other people, what do you do? And it will be some sort of conversation that, and everybody tries to sell everybody, but nobody's really there to buy. Have you noticed that too? Well, here's how I would suggest you to go about it differently. Start with a wish list first. Before you even go to a networking, be very clear in terms of who you are looking to do business with, because you know that your services are highly in demand and there are solutions to problems that those people may experience, but also you have taken the time to assess how potential clients, where the challenges may be and why it makes sense for you to add services to them. It's about using our budget of time in a wise way. We sometimes say it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Well, prospecting is exactly that field preparation that you do before you even go to market, so that you know who to talk to, why that you should talk to them, and whether or not there is a high payoff potential. Last, in prospecting, because typically the people that you and I want to do business with are hard to get because they are the decision makers. There's different people in between them that will try to block us from getting in front of them. Right? We call them the gatekeepers. They may be the secretaries, the receptionists, the personal assistant, you name it. All these people will try to put obstacles in between you and your prospect. Now, here's the catch. If you can befriend the gatekeeper and go on the phone with an attitude of abundance and an attitude of the gatekeeper is my friend, you suddenly start to find ways to move around them and use them as a resource that will go to work for you. Gatekeepers are your friends. So what do? I always will make sure before I even go on the phone that I am in a good space, that I am smiling, that I somehow am receptive to what they tell me, and at any time when I can find something that I can compliment the gatekeeper on, I will do so. Why? Because if you compliment people, you have an opportunity to influence them. Obviously, it needs to come from a genuine heart. You don't say anything that you don't mean, because people feel genuine and authentic energy. So it's very important for us to be fully present and be genuine in what we share with them, right? But once you do it, you make a friend, and a friend will go to work for you. Number 3, building first impressions, favorable ones. How often does it happen that we come across people and for some reason we said something or we fail to say something, and we can tell that the people are somehow uncomfortable about something? Well, is there an opportunity then to actually take it on to the next stage if we fail to somehow connect in that very instance? Connections are key. So we say sometimes that the first 30 seconds either make it or break it. Well, it's our job as professionals to connect with people and again use that full presence again to make sure that people feel that we're there for them, that we are fully there, that we're not trying to impose our agenda, let alone trying to sell to them, which a lot of people do in networking. We want to build a first good impression. And one of the things that I'd like to share with you is watch two things of yourself and the other person. Be mindful of the pace and the focus of that person. If you see that a person is has a very fast pace, do the same. Match it up. Match it up. If they're very, very high, quick in their reasoning, quick in their walking, talking and everything, match up. Because the more you are in tune with them and come to the same level, the more easily you will make them feel comfortable in your environment. The second one, some people are very task-oriented, others are very people-oriented. Tune in with that as well. If you can feel that people talk a lot about social environments and other people and all that, tune in with that. Go on the same level with them, because the more you do so, the more comfortable they will be around you, the more easy it's going to be for you then to go on to stage number 4, which is qualifying. You have found now a way to establish a connection, build a relationship, which now is going to be tested to the level of professionalism, which means the more you now allow the other person to talk and share information with you based on very smart questions that you have prepared well in advance, the more easy that person is going to open up. As people open up, they are more comfortable, they trust you more, people like the sound of their own voice, so they will actually feel better, and it will help you actually to get a ton of information that you can take really good notes of. And what I recommend you to do is to ask open-ended questions first. Open-ended questions give you a lot of information. It's not, are you happy with your current supplier? That's a closed question. You don't want those right now. The type of open-ended questions are the ones that allow people to share, which starts with who, what, where, how, when, tell me. All of these are questions that allow people to open up and give you a ton of information. They cannot just be answered with yes or no. That's an open-ended question, all right? So qualifying. The more information you gather, the more you can actually then do your homework and come back with a suitable solution in the next meeting. So here you actually do all the field preparation, to which you already prepare your prospect in advance, that you say, look, I am quite comfortable based on what you just told me that I will be in a position to help you. Let me do my homework just to make sure, put something on paper for you, and when shall you and I get together again so that I can actually show you how we could potentially help you solve your issue, right? Then you actually book in a time for you to present. You put everything on paper. You then also present it verbally, and you want to make sure that every single thing that you take them through, they understand, you're on the same page. They also here and there will give you feedback in terms of, yes, I like this, and you will be also very mindful of looking out for those, because it will show you whether or not you're on the same page. Be highly in tune with the vocabulary that people use, and copy-paste exactly those words in your proposal. Use them as you talk about it, because the more you use the words that people have given you, the more easy it will be for them to say, you know what, this person really gets what I'm about. They really get at what I'm looking for, and they will give you this type feedback that I hear all the time. Last thing I would like to point out to you with presenting is that you make sure that you accommodate your style to the person in front of you. It's very similar to what we said here. If it's a person who is very task-oriented and fast-paced, you want to make sure that you use more bullet points to make it easy on him. That you can use things like, let me make it easy for you, let me help you to save some time. And you do it also, and it is also reflected in your proposal. People like that, they like it. So you want to really make sure that you accommodate for their style. If it's someone who likes a lot of details, make sure you got a lot of details in your proposal, right? Don't leave it to just bullet points. You want to make sure that you're crystal clearly articulated with all the facts, details, numbers, and everything to it. So it will depend. Some proposals will be quite lengthy, others will be more short, sharp, and shiny because of the person that you are selling it to. All right? So that's it. Let's move on to the next stage here now. Stage number 6 is influencing. This is the art of mini closing. Mini closing means that you find ways to take your prospect as if it was a dance partner on your arm, and find ways by questions, which right now are becoming more closed questions and suggestive type questions, right? To keep him on your side. You want to check whether that person is still on your arm, that you can still do the dance with him. And a way to do so is, for example, by saying, hey, does this does this resonate with you? Is this somehow how you remember our last conversation? Yes? It's a question that asks for an answer which is yes or no. You could also say, is this what you were looking for? Second one, the suggestive questions sound like, okay, well, now that you actually like this, which color would you like it in? Or when would be the best time for you and I to get together again? Would that be next week Tuesday at 5 p.m? Or would that be next week Thursday around 3 p.m? Very suggestive. It's either or. You make it very specific and very easy for people to choose either side. This is where influencing is coming in play. It's a very sophisticated art, and it helps you a lot with getting the sale, because you're preparing people with mini closers to go to the next stage, which is then closing. You want to make sure that people are getting ready for the business. You are negotiating without negotiating in this very phase. Once you get to the closing stage, you and I know that people can get quite creative in all the sorts of obstacles and reasons why they should not buy your product or services right now yet. Right? So you will hear, I want to talk to my spouse, I want to talk to my partner, I want to talk to the leadership team, I want to check with the accountant, I want to check our budgets, I want to sleep over it, whatever it can get so creative. Everything there is what we're looking at in closing. Well, here's the catch. There is something called the magic of 5 times. Unless you find ways to have different questions in the influencing and the closing stage that helps people to say 5 times yes, right? The more you help them to say yes to different type questions, the more easy they will be ready when you ask for, well, shall we go ahead with it? The more easily they will say yes again. So it's the art of strategically planting seeds which sound like yes to different type questions. Is this what you remember? Yes. Is this what we would like? Yes. Is this a type of implementation period that you would be looking for? Yes. Does this reflect nicely our conversation from last time? Yes. All the yeses you accumulate over time prepare the prospect to say yes to when you say, well, when everything is right already, why don't we give this a try now? They'll say yes again. Right? So the magic of 5, it's scientifically proven that it takes easily 5 times, sometimes 6 or 7, for you to ask a few times in order for a prospect to be ready to go ahead with you. So that's the one. Last one, but not least, repeat and referral business. Now this is where sometimes I'd say the used car salesman and all of the other professions, the so-called people in a business development role who use it in an old school type way of business, they will just look for the transaction and it will stop there. This is where we now become part of referral and repeat business marketing, which means that you have it as a primary concern or objective to build your relationships in such a way that you continue to add value, continue to exceed expectations, so that people will continue doing business with you. You will find more ways to offer more products and services to an existing happy client, and also they will open up their network for you to be introduced to. And who else can better sell your products and services than a happy client? You know, it makes it very easy. So this alone is one that a lot of people still underestimate. 80% of your business could just come from here if you make sure that all of the rest is well taken care of. Business development process in 8 clear steps. This is what we wanted to share with you in terms of knowledge and skills. I hope this was helpful. Watch out for video number 3, in which we will tackle attitude, which accounts for 85% of business development success. I look forward to seeing you. Wish you a great day. Bye-bye.